We fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey!
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power! Fight the power!
Hey Zoe, I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
How would you define Black culture, or is anyone able to define what Black culture is in America?
You ask me these difficult questions because I take your questions seriously. Well, look, I mean, there's always going to be a view of Black people that Black people hold themselves as fundamentally different than the white society. So the white society has a view of Black people that's always been inferior, savage, wanting for certain things, not equal to the standard of white humanity that's been established by their institutions, philosophies, renderings, etc. When we look at Black people, we see Black culture in the things that are fleeting: our music, our dance, our clothes, etc. Because we don't see those practices fundamentally linked to a land, a heritage, and a people, because we're displaced. I think that harms us because it gives us the impression that everything we're doing is reactionary, that everything that we do is in conflict or resistance to something that's imposed on us. And that's not to say that there are things, it's certainly the case that some of that is that, but it's not the case that all of it is. Because when we ask that question, well, what are we reacting to? What's the material? What's the consciousness? What's in that reservoir that's going to grasp onto that materiality and change it? What made us play the guitar the way we play? What makes us play the trumpet or trombone the way we play? What makes us cook the way we, right? There are artifacts here, there are remnants here that we have that have been largely positive. But we're framed, and this is the thing that upsets me, Black culture is not framed by how Black people live it out and experience it. Black culture is framed by how the dominant group who controls the media, who controls the education opportunities, who controls what black scholars are taught so they can exist within academia, they're that group of people tell us what black culture is. And then
That,
we have black people repeat.
and I
Right.
just
So that's one of the things that I think makes black culture so hard to identify. And it's
and,
something for us to not be able to adequately study.
you brought up a great point, and I think the general public's not aware of this. The attack on academia, academics. People in academics are so limited to what they can research because there are two issues with that. One is the funding, and two is the sustainability of their
Mm-hmm.
career. You're penalized by delving in deeper topics, particularly within
Oh,
Black
absolutely.
culture. So, like,
Absolutely.
how has that hurt us collectively as a people when our bright scholars can't do research in the areas that we need to shed light on certain things and
Hmm.
also help us develop?
Oh well, I mean, you have to think that practically every branch of contemporary society has at some point been an idea that some theorist has had about how society works. Like white society didn't just wake up and say, "Oh, we're on the brink of a technological revolution," or "We founded the internet." And look, these are all products of how certain theorists thought about the connectivity or the possibility of technology or of capital resources or of even democracy. And what you have in the academy, and this is of course a generalization, right? So it doesn't mean that each and every single person operates.
All right, I let Dr. Tommy Curry cook, and he was talking about how difficult it is to pin down exactly what Black America is, because what he was basically saying is we don't have the societal pin of self-authorship. Everything is vindicated, validated, accepted, and approved of by the dominant society. Your education, vindicated, validated, and accepted by the dominant society. They say you have a BS or a BA or an MA or a PhD. They say that, right? That's what he's saying. He's Dr. Tommy Curry used to be a professor down at Texas A&M, right? He's saying the whole system, yes, that's correct, Truemonger. The whole system of black folk, in terms of how we view ourselves, in terms of how we think we've arrived, he's saying is all undergirded by the systems and institutions we come from. Well, that's going to lead us to race. Because tonight's topic is going to hit you upside the head. Now, before I even get to the topic, get to your phone lines right now. The four queens, the four legends will be on one stage. Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, and Stephanie Mills. Listen, I got tickets. I got a pair of tickets I'd like to give away right now. Get to your phone line, 1-800-920-1580. First come, first serve. Whoever calls first, man, this is for Mother's Day. Looks like you can maybe take moms to see the four queens, four legends, one stage. Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, and Stephanie Mills. Listen, get there, get there, get there. 1-800-920-1580. Let me get to the topic now. I love to give away things. And the reason why this topic is trending a little bit is because, number one, Paul Pierce made some statements, right? And I hate it when people we have to get away from just making these ubiquitous blanket license statements. Black women are this, black men are that. Right? It's not enough, right? This is why I adopt E prime in my shows. English without the verbs is or to be. You can supplant those verbs with it appears, apparently, from my vantage point. right? From, my limited knowledge, this is what it looks like from here, right? As opposed to this is what it is. Now, if physics, which is the most successful form of science we have developed to date, if physics can use E prime because they've peered so deeply into the quantum world, subatomic world, subnuclear world, why isn't it used in everyday language? The great Robert Anton Wilson said if humanity adopted E prime, he said the world would wake up 50% saner because a lot of assumptions would be removed. But again, here we are. Today's topic, man, it's based on, and we were in the cigar lounge talking about this, ad nauseum. Inglewood High School star, Kansas University star, and Boston Celtics star, legendary hooper, can't argue with it. Paul Pierce says white women apologize more. Yeesh. Here we go. Is he right or wrong? 1-800-920-1580. Paul Pierce answers why NBA players date white women. Here we go. Paul Pierce offered some insight recently into why some NBA players date white women. Pierce was co-hosting his The Truth After Dark with Paul Pierce, an Azar show, for an episode that was published on Tuesday. Co-host Azar Faraday asked Paul Pierce why NBA players get with white women. He said, why do you feel like men, especially NBA players, get with white women? Is it because they're easy, quote unquote? Eek. That teed it up for Paul Pierce, who gave his explanation. I honestly think that maybe because they appreciate maybe more and they apologize more, Pierce theorized, they don't mind being held accountable. This is Paul Pierce. Is there any numerical data that backs up Faraday's assertion about NBA players dating white women? Or is this all just pure gossip and speculation? Who knows? But let's get to it because the cigar lounge was on fire. Everybody wants to talk about Paul Pierce. Are white women more accountable than black women? Let's just get right to it. No. Here we go. Zoe Williams got to turn up. Tonight's topic. Get to your phone lines. I want to talk to you about interracial dating. Yeah, here we go. The Willie Lynch dating app. Algorithms of genocide through interracial dating. Neapolitan taboo. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. A triggering look at the good and bad of interracial connections. When Sinner's villain Remick says, I want your music and your memories, can interracial dating transform this idea into, I want the magic in your DNA? 1-800-920-1580. Somebody get to the phone lines. What are we doing tonight? The ancestral auction block. Interracial desire as neo-colonial currency. Oof. Internalized racial inferiority fuels preference for whiteness. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing's melanin theory. 1-800-920-1580. Get to it. Pew Research data shows black-white marriages correlate with 13 times wealth disparity. Oh, no. Here we go. CRT insight. I'm not afraid. Tommy Curry's The Man Not links interracial unions to Lynch's divide and conquer tactics. Here's your metaphysical and spiritual insight. Soul fragmentation from ancestral commodification. Dr. Joy DeGrew's post-traumatic slave syndrome. Wait a minute. Soul fragmentation? Are you saying this is what happens with the biracials who struggle with identity? Is it because of a soul fragmentation? Because there's two warring ancestral sides? Heavy stuff. Colorism's chlorophyll addiction. Light skin as a trauma trophy. Woo! Dark-skinned black women report 72% higher rejection rates, according to NPR. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. I want to know. Biracial births outpace monoracial black births, according to Pew Research. Amos Wilson's blueprint for black power ties colorism to anti-black economic sabotage. Franz Fanon's lactification as existential erasure. What about the kink of conquest? Fetishization in the police state. Ugh. Racial fetish, the fetishism as a digital ministry. Oh, no, let's not do that. Oh, God. Tommy Curry's hypersexualization analysis. Black-white marriages have 40% higher divorce rates, according to Pew. Angela Davis's Women, Race, and Class exposes rape's racialized legal history. I want to know. Now, listen, I'm as woo-woo and as spiritual as everybody else. I believe true love can happen to any race, and it can there could be some cross matches. Doesn't matter. I believe that. Okay? But I believe it might be exceedingly more difficult if you're unhealed. If both pieces or both partners are unhealed. I believe it's more. You see, according to Pew, 40% higher divorce rates amongst black-white marriages. That's telling me there's some kind of ancestral legacy there that hasn't been healed, that hasn't been dealt with. You can argue that that's for every relationship. But when we come forward, the voice of reason, boy, we about to get into this interracial. Is Dr. Umar right?
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. If you missed our KBLA Talk 1580 Town Hall, the Altadena Eden Fire, 100 Days and Counting, you missed an evening of reverence, reflection, and reality.
You gotta live in the reality because this is it. Every day, you wake up, is this my life? Don't stay in denial because yes, it is. Don't stay in bargaining where you're praying for a miracle and if it wouldn't have happened, then this is what I would have done. It did.
Our panel participants kept it real. really real.
I think, number one, it's amazing to me how we ignore systemic racism in our community, and as a people, we've apologized for so much, but when will we stop apologizing for what we have paid for? Because the truth of the matter is we paid for this.
You can always count on KBLA Talk 1580 to give it to you straight, no chaser. When you love folk, you tell them the truth. Seeking the truth, speaking the truth. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The Comedy Connection series featuring KBLA's Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady. We're going to transform relationship disasters into stand-up material live at Inglewood's Miracle Theater on May 31st at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. My clinical team will disclose all of your dating woes, while the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady, has hand-selected supremely talented comedians to roast all of our tragic relationship choices. I dare you to bring your ex's phone number, because Ray, he's going to text it live, and the crowd will be sourcing emojis. Tickets are moving swiftly, so don't hesitate to grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before I diagnose your dating history as a pre-existing condition.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's like, it's like interracial dating, man. You know, interracial dating. Some people date, I think most people date for an agenda. I don't think they really date because of love. A lot of times it's yeah, sure. People say love transcends color. Go f*** yourself. That's a bunch of because a lot of times people date because they want to get back at somebody, or they're mad and they're tired of their race. A lot of times they'll say, I'm not saying that there aren't no love couples, but no one talks about that other side of interracial dating. They always talk about, but love transcends color. Really?
So you're
as
saying
much as we've been each other, it's
when
still racist.
When you date out of
racism out of each other, and it hasn't worked.
I heard that. So when you date out of your race, there's an agenda. You're saying
a lot of times there is. I didn't say
an agenda when race on race, black on black. It's rent, money, finances.
No. I'm just saying that subconsciously you might do something. Let's say I'm dating white women. Right. I just date white women because I just like them. But subconsciously, you've never felt enough. You felt like you ain't. So you just act upon who you choose from being actually insecure.
Right.
But it's subconscious.
Right.
And I think when you untrain that through knowledge of self, which I know it sounds corny, but knowledge of self, when you get knowledge of self, you start to make different types of decisions, man. When you educate yourself, you make different types of decisions. And let's say you do date someone outside your race, but you date it because, no, I actually care about that person, but I don't hate my women. I don't go, I'm dating her because black women ain't that kind of corny that people do. Oh, I don't date black men because you met 3 black dudes on the planet. There's millions of us, and 3 of them call.
Yo, I'm hearing it when you hear it. Wow. He said everything that I'm saying. There's a sister in my chat. Her name is Empress. She asked the question, is interracial dating a form of self-hate? Truemonger answered her. He's in the chat as well. Truemonger said, if you haven't healed, very interesting. I'm interested to know what you guys think. Reparations beds. Love as economic warfare. Here's the psychological insight. Black partners as status reparations. Malcolm X's symbolic victories critique. Oh, the first this, the first that. The first black this, the first black that, Ryan Coogler. The first black film director to have 4 films gross over $100 million. The first black, always striving to be the first in a society built on inequity. Eesh. Black households, median net worth $24,000 versus white households, median net worth $188,000. According to the Federal Reserve. Andy has something to say. Get in here, Andy.
What about the proximity argument?
Talk to me.
You know,
how close, huh?
You know, with Bronny James, right? Everybody was upset with, you know, his high school date or whatnot. But like considering where he lives and just the people that he's around, you know, he's around other people that don't necessarily look like him. So does he need to heal in order to, you know, date his own kind?
You know, Andy, I love you, brother. That was a really good question. But no. Hell nah. We're not letting LeBron or Savannah off the hook. Y'all Cleveland. You want to talk about proximity? Where's the proximity to your culture? How you were raised? What you came up with? Come on now. Let's not forget that. Right? You come into the league, you go kick it with Jay-Z. Huh? You bring your boy up, he go kick it with Barbie. Huh? Keep your family connected to your roots, your ways, your mores, whatever it is that represents what you are. You gonna say what's up to Big Meech? Your son don't know nothing about Big Meech. Huh? Huh? What we own, Bron? Holla at me when we come forward. More fire from the voice of reason.
No comfort in the truth. Pain is the harder you find. I'm never gonna dance again. Guilty feet have got no rhythm. Though it's easy to pretend. I know you're not a fool.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Tensions flared outside of a Grand Rapids, Michigan courthouse as protesters clashed during jury deliberations in the trial of ex-officer Christopher Shore, charged with killing a black man, Patrick Luoya.
I think that they are really weighing the options and the facts, and I really, truly hope that they come up with something soon.
The jury is deadlocked, but was told to keep trying. One person was arrested. Jurors are in deliberations today in the Tyree Nichols murder trial. 3 former Memphis officers are charged with beating him to death back in 2023. That was caught on video. None of the former officers testified. And a Lending Tree survey shows 77% of parents say raising kids is more expensive than expected, with nearly half having fewer children due to costs. The average cost to raise a child now is nearly $300,000, up 36% in 2 years. A $5,000 baby bonus is reportedly under consideration. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Yeah, yo, come on. Here come the drums.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it. Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
It's me, Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash. I see those dry elbows, baby. But don't worry, get moisturized right in the shower. So hydrated you can skip the lotion after.
Don't wanna see it dry no more. Skin so moisturized with body wash.
Look at you now. No more dry skin. Your skin gets the moisture it craves with
Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Phil Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Everlasting summer, you can see it fading fast. So you grab a piece of something that you think is gonna last. Well, you wouldn't even know a diamond if you held it in your hand. The things you think are precious, I can't understand. Are you reeling in the years? Stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the
So I've been dating predominantly white men ever since I was in high school, and I do not say that as some sort of badge of honor or to elicit some sort of round of applause, because the reality is interracial dating is not worthy of a round of applause or of any sort of badge of honor or certificate. The reason that I say that is because I have been attracted to white men ever since I was in high school, ever since I was a teenager. And again, I don't say that for you to clap for me. I say that because there are a lot of black women who have not been attracted to white men and who are still not attracted to white men. And what we see, especially because of the divestment movement and just because of the internet, you have black women who are not actually attracted or interested in non-black men, who are just trying to force themselves to be interested in this man because they are fed up with the issues that they have experienced, that they have encountered with black men. And here's just the first truth. Girl, you may not like white men, you may not be interested in non-black men, and that is okay. You may just be fed up with black men.
I'm upset. Is that a sister? Oh, hell no. Listen. No. Hell to the no. To the no. Hell no. Listen. Sisters got to stop acting like we, both black men and black women, did not come from black mamas. Listen, if we toxic as black men, we come from the same place. And I'm going to tell you right now, a great education and a good job does not heal psychological wounds. Oop, wait a minute. Hold on. Huh? Somebody told you if you got a degree, you're healed. If you got a great career, you're healed. No. Listen, that inner work has to be done on both parties. Do you understand? Like, you know, the toxicity of men, toxic masculinity, and the men are, and the brothers are jacked up, but the sisters are fine. No! You trying to tell me if we start peeling back the layers and we start getting into these toxic relationship dynamics between toxic mothers and daughters. We're not even going to say narcissistic mothers and daughters. We're just going to say toxic. You're trying to tell me just because they used all of that energy to get away from their mother and get a great education and get a good career that they're not somehow affected by that upbringing? Attachment theory tells us you develop a secure or insecure attachment style based on the performance of your caregiver. Is that just happening to black men? Are insecure attachments only bestowed on black men? We got to stop this kind of talk. The Willie Lynch dating app. Algorithms of genocide. Dating app filters as digital redlining. Tinder's ethnicity settings. What? Here's your empirical insight. 65% of black women face racial gaslighting in interracial relationships, according to APA. Let me read it again. According to the APA. Did you hear? 65% of black women face racial gaslighting in interracial relationships, according to the APA. Sophia Noble's Algorithms of Oppression in Desire Gratification. Ancestral Resistance Coded in DNA. Dr. Henrik Clark's Christopher Columbus and the African Holocaust. Let me come back. Black people always talking about generational curses. I have recontextualized generational curses into generational curriculum. What generational curses do white folk carry? I know they carry some, but do they mention it as often as we do? We always talking about generational curses and healing generational curses and all. White people won great wealth off of depravity. I ask this question. Is it in their genes today? If the wounds from slavery, Dr. Joy DeGruy, post-traumatic slave disorder, still affecting us on an epigenetic level, is there a monster in white folk, in their genes, still on an epigenetic level? Have they done the healing work? If they did, could they talk about it more openly? Or do we still live in a virtually divided society? That's ugly. That's an ugly way to look at it. Huh? We still having the first running around here. The first this and the first that. Listen, I need to know these questions. Would you date somebody who hasn't exorcised the slave master demon out of their genes? Instead of going on a date and they got to put their best foot forward and their best mask on, what about the self-work? If you're going to give somebody of another race, an opportunity, especially somebody white, right? I'm not trying to just call them out. I'm just asking. 1-800-920-1580. Somebody get in here. I want to talk to you guys. I'm going to talk to Nzinga in 2.2 seconds. When we come forward, we're going to continue this bonfire.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a black and brown-led led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
The Comedy Connection series featuring KBLA's Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady. We're going to transform relationship disasters into stand-up material live at Inglewood's Miracle Theater on May 31st at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. My clinical team will disclose all of your dating woes, while the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady, has hand-selected supremely talented comedians to roast all of our tragic relationship choices. I dare you to bring your ex's phone number because Ray, he's going to text it live and the crowd will be sourcing emojis. Tickets are moving swiftly, so don't hesitate to grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before I diagnose your dating history as a pre-existing condition.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
People have talked for a long time about equality, to be equal. White people can't be equal to black people because they can't produce melanin pigment. And that's the basis upon which they operate. You see, so again, platitudes and all of that's good, but it doesn't have anything to do with the reality, the specific reality that has caused a problem for people for 500 years plus. See, people are called white or you're non-white. That's on the census. That's the classification. You see, that is the problem. The word white, when it refers to human beings, means genetic deficiency, mutation, genetic deficiency, inability to produce melanin pigment. It means tiny minority on the planet. Do you see? There's no way around it. It's like an elephant being in a room. And everybody is walking around squeezed up against the wall. But they're not talking about the elephant because they are afraid to talk about the elephant. For whatever reasons. And so the problem is to talk about the elephant. When will the elephant be talked about? See, black people can be genocided. Native American people have been genocided. People can be genocided. See, that's what the young white people who get frustrated and they get a gun and they start shooting large numbers of people, because this is a message of the culture. You have a problem, you're upset about something, then go get your father's gun or your mother's gun and start killing a lot of people. Human life means nothing at this crisis point on this planet unless this specific problem is addressed.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm done. That's our ancestor, Francis Cress Welsing. Ashe. Like, hey, listen. Nobody wants to have real conversations. Everything is pretense and placation. This is a real conversation. Should we just say, you know what? Until you guys give up spiritual reparations as well as financial and tangible reparations, there will be no more interracial dating. We're going to take our genes back. There has to be some kind of recompense. You heard what I said, 40%, right? 65% of black women face racial gaslighting in interracial relationships, APA. That's the ghost of unhealed wounds from being a damn colonizer, slave master. But yet we so broken internally that we see beauty in the slave master. It's Beauty and the Beast all over again. We see beauty in the slave master. Now, I'm not saying the white folk on planet Earth today did that, but they descend from it, right? Maybe, could I just be wrong here? And this is just to spark the conversation. Could the genes of a slave master inspire a modern day Monsanto scientist to poison the food? It's all murder, right? Listen, huh? I'm like, come on, man. Plantation owner, I'm sorry. See, this is too loud. This is what Kendrick was talking about in the Super Bowl. You too loud, you too ghetto. See, you're loud and ghetto when you have real conversations. Look, Shedeur fell to the 5th round in the NFL. Why? Because they wanted to make a point. They wanted to humble him. Huh? When white quarterbacks get drafted all the time because of their cockiness, because of their arrogance. Am I lying? They think, oh, that's what makes him a great quarterback. But when it's a black kid, they go, you're not humble enough for the opportunity we're providing to you. So we'll drop you down, make you miss out on $40, $50 million, and give you a 5th round contract into our game. Love in the kill zone. Emmett Till's ghost in the bedroom. Racialized sexual threat narratives. Emmett Till's legacy. Black men are 3 times more likely to be killed by police during disputes, mapping police violence. Kimberly Crenshaw's intersectionality in hypersurveillance of black bodies. James Baldwin's The Fire Next Time on Love as Revolt. Listen, this is real stuff. This is what black people live with every day. But yet we can still find love in the descendants of those who thought us to be property. I'm going to say it again. I believe love is where you find it. I believe authentic love can happen in any race and across races. I believe it. But I would implore someone who doesn't like their skin pigmentation, a brother or a sister who said, you know what, I want the baby to have light eyes. I want the baby to have baby hair, good hair. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're unhealed. And then you're going to experience what happens. Microaggressions in intimate interracial relationships happen all the time. We got callers on the line. Nzinga, Pensacola, Florida. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Hey, Zo. Good evening.
Good evening.
It's in my opinion that when white women, they may like black men, but they may not necessarily always like black people.
Ooh, wait a minute. Hold on. Is that a vestige from a hangover from slavery?
I don't know, but when you, haven't read the whole book, but I've seen things about Martha, I've seen things about Dolly. When you look at slavery, over 35 to 40% of people who owned slaves were women. A lot of times they inherited them.
Yeah, white women.
Yes.
Largest slave owners, yeah.
When Martha married George, she had her own. They had no kids. I've never met a white Washington, but that's just like a whole nother thing.
No. Stay right there, Nzinga. Don't go nowhere. Because you cooking. Girl, hey, there's a book out there called They Were Her Property. And they talk about what Nzinga is talking about right now. White women they were the largest slave owners. And she get to go in there and pick off Mandingo after. Lord have mercy. It is the angle of the dangle. When we come forward, we going back to Pensacola, Florida, and we got Englewood up to no good in the building.